This is Making Stitches, and this time we hear from Ukrainian artist Olesya Lebedenko about her work in ragdoll making and quilting, her pride in her homeland, and the importance of keeping the plight of her fellow Ukrainians in the spotlight.
I'm talking about with people here in my community or people I know all over the world. Please show that they are not alone. Just talk about that. I don't know, you don't need to send something. Just make something and show that you are thinking about those people. That they are not forgotten, they are not lost, and the world knows what's going on. That's so important right now, just to not to close eyes, not to keep silence. That's the worst what can be, to turn your head, to put your mouth closed, eyes closed, and that's nothing going on. It should be stopped. And I'm happy and proud to be Ukrainian. And I'm happy that the world stands with Ukraine.
Hello and welcome to a brand new series of Making Stitches podcast. I'm Lindsay and it's great to be back with you and sharing some more truly inspiring maker stories. Now, around the time I published the final episode of the last series back in mid-January, I was contacted by a publisher suggesting I speak to a Ukrainian artist about her new book. Back then, when I said yes, none of us knew what lay ahead for the people of Ukraine. After a few weeks of emails back and to, I had the chance to speak to Olesya Lebedenko for the first time. Immediately we hit it off and her enthusiasm for her craft truly shines through. That first chat went on for ages as she told me about how her love of being created started at a very young age. The economic crash of 2008 left her without a job and looking to craft to support her soon-to-be expanding family, and how the Russian annexation of Crimea and other eastern regions of Ukraine in 2014 contributed to her family's decision to move to Canada. In total, I think we've spoken for about 3 hours, and at 1 hour long, this is probably the longest interview I've shared on the podcast so far, but I don't think it would have been fair to make it shorter. As things currently stand with the war in Ukraine, it was naturally a topic we covered in our chat, as Olesya still has many family members and friends who've been directly affected by the terrible violence there. We also touched on the fact that she herself has faced attacks on social media for her stance on the situation in Ukraine. There is, of course, though, lots of chat about her love of creativity, beginning with cross-stitch to ragdoll making, which prompted her first craft business and teaching career, and now her work in Canada and North America with quilting and appliqué. We began our recorded chat with Olesya taking me through some of her extensive collection of books showcasing traditional Ukrainian embroidery. I do hope you enjoy listening.
Okay, so that's the books I was talking about. So, it's a real linen cover and kind of a handmade, okay? So, and in this book, I have every single region with typical design, with typical clothing, with even typical, we have a special towel called rushniki. I will show you the book about that because I have tons of them. I told you I'm a bookworm. So, and this one is from museum. So towel called rushniki, and a special egg, like Easter egg, we call it pisanka, because this is a handmade drawing. Every single egg was drawn in a special way, and like the typical designs of every single region. And
beautiful.
It's just, you can spend hours, you can spend days just to look through them. This is what I'm working right now. I'm working with their adaptation such designs from cross stitching to quilting, and it's very interesting stuff. And this is a book with rushniki from all centuries, so it's like 16th century, 17th century. Yeah,
that's beautiful. The embroidery, the patterns. Is it woven or is that embroidery that you're showing me there?
It's embroidery. It's embroidery.
It's stunning. The red designs on the white.
Every single stitch, every single stitch is just an embroidery. Yeah, you see, those are absolutely stunning with every single stitch in it.
That's a beautiful floral motif, isn't it? So beautiful. And what are these pieces of fabric used for? Is that part of dress, or is it for around the house?
It could be a part of dress. It could be a part of house decoration. It could be a special tower for every single occasion, actually. So it could be for wedding, it could be for anniversary, it could be for funeral, it could be for churches. There are a lot of symbols of sun. There are a lot of symbols of different trees, flowers, and it says only about peace, protection, and good wealth for house when you use it. So that's not only beauty. It's everything is just to show how you can decorate your home, and like everything is very, very, very simple when you start to do it.
Oh, and it's so important though that you spread the word about these beautiful Ukrainian crafts. They're truly stunning. Olesya, I before we move on with the interview and talk about you and your work in particular, I know we've spoken in the build up to this interview about your personal situation and that you've got family back at home in Ukraine. How are things?
Terrifying. So every single day I cross my fingers when I pick up my phone, and I'm starting to text. Okay, so I'm texting my family because, are you alive? Are you okay? How was the night? We have time difference, so we leave 7 hours ahead of them. So that's why I go to sleep very, very late, because I'm waiting till they will woke up, and at least I will have a note that everything is fine. Then I text my friends, like we have a special kind of joke, all mothers all over the world, they ask their kids, okay, so did you eat? Or are you hungry? If it's cold, are you wearing a hat? So we have a special our friend code, okay, so are you in hat? That means are you okay? So yes, like they give me some description that there were several air attacks, and but the bats are okay, they are okay, they were able to sleep, so right now they're going to do their like schedule stuff. Some of them are volunteering a lot right now at the moment. Some of them try to get back to work just to keep busy, and they trying to build their new routine, like cooking, bathing, and other stuff, because right now it's a challenge. For first 3-5 days, it was like, it's a nightmare when you just dreaming that you will close your eyes, you open them, and everything is good. But then you open your phone, and it's not good.
No.
So right now, I'm happy that I'm truly happy that my family, my parents-in-law, most of my friends, they're secure and they are okay as much as they can be. So our military they are amazing people. They will stand till death, but they will protect civilians. So, and that's actually what gave me a chance to sleep. So to feel that someone, my family has someone at their back. So I'm not able to go there right away because there's no flights. There are hours and hours to cross borders at Poland. So the only way that I can travel from Canada to Ukraine right now is to fly to Poland, and then walking or driving, I would be able to come to Ukraine. But then from Poland, it's very far for any of time for anyone I truly connect with. But right now, some people moved from Kiev to Lviv, to Poland, to Slovakia, to Switzerland, so to somewhere else. Yeah, some of them even moved to Georgia, and some of them all the way to Canada.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully,
You'll get to see some of them before too long then, hopefully.
I hope so. I really hope. And I really should say that for this moment, I was really, really impressed how the world stands with Ukraine. I do understand that there will be, as I previously told you, yeah, so I feel guilt that I do not enough. And I'm more than sure that the same feelings have people around. They think that governments could do something more, but there are procedures. We couldn't change laws, and they are doing. They helping. Of course, in every single moment, everyone could do more, but we're not in their shoes. I don't know what's going on under the carpet. No one knows. So, but the picture we have, world stands with Ukraine. Ordinary people stand with Ukraine. And that is so impressive, so inspiring to protect what we have. And to talk about, to talk against all lie goes from every single, we call it iron stuff, every single social media. Just, we need to be very patient, and we need to be very accurate about what we see, what we hear. And I usually say, please, if you have an opportunity, try to check at least 3 resources, official, non-official, and try to find someone who was there. That will help you at least to have a puzzle of what's going on. So actually, I don't know for how long, but maybe for 20 years, we don't have an ordinary TV in our house. Yeah, we don't watch TV actually. So we watch movie, we're reading, we're playing, of course. But at the same time, there are so many social media, there are so many channels online when you can pick up what you want to see. And at the same time, when you have such amount of resources, you can choose and you can check. Always check. So that's right now, it's a hybrid war, it's a physical war with bombing, and it's a IT war, and it's propaganda war. Then their technology is so good right now that you can have any picture you like. So that's why check. That's why double check, triple check. But still, you will at least have a kind of a picture what's going on.
And you were saying earlier that you've had a reaction from people purely because of your nationality on social media,
yes.
which is
yes.
so sad.
Yes, that's ridiculous. The reaction of people, it's really strange because they started to punish people like me, that we left, we just able to talk, we do nothing, and everything I do against someone who I don't even know, and because I'm proud of my heritage, I'm proud of being who I am. They call such people as me as neo-Nazis. That was like, wow. Guys, no, it's something that you don't know even the meaning of the word. So just read first and then talk. So, and I'm not the only one who has such troubles. A lot of friends of mine who are artists and who are very social people, they started to get the same messages. They started to get haters' comments on their post. They started to so we are fighting as well. We talk with people. We explain people that please stop. Don't do this, because the only argument I heard that we're against Russia. The thing that was really shock for me, that they started to say that we deserve what's going on right now because we didn't pay attention on Donbass, who was invented by Russia in 2014, and Crimea and Lugansk, and how they destroyed everything there, and they tried to show that it was from Ukrainian side. It's the same thing, and Ukrainian tried to talk about that. But at that moment, it was only located very deep, and it wasn't very obvious. But right now, it couldn't be hidden. And that's the thing, that as a normal human being, I couldn't stay aside of what's going on. And that's why I talk. That's why I show that I love people. During all my life, only with people, I was able to grow. I was able to learn. I was able to teach. I was able to share spirit of beauty, spirit of spirit of what you have inside you, spirit of inside world, and sharing with people how to create something. And right now, it's challenging to continue to be calm in any situation and to keep focus, because under such a huge stress, I found out that I have troubles with memory. I don't remember, sometimes I don't remember which day is today, because you're stressed, and even nothing changed right away. The only thing you can change, continue work, continue talk, continue staying connected with people. That's the only way which I found for myself, and which I can advise because I'm living through that, and I can tell that it works for me and my family. And breathe step by step breathing. So that's helping a lot. And one more thing, while I'm so connected with all my friends, sometimes, in peace times, we could call each other maybe once a week, okay? But right now it's every day, because I found out that it's very helpful for them just to talk, that they're not alone. And it's the only thing that I'm asking about. And I'm talking about with people here in my community or people I know all over the world. Please show that they are not alone. Just talk about that. I don't know. You don't need to send something. You don't need to to just make something and show that you are thinking about those people, that they are not forgotten, they are not lost, and the world knows what's going on. That's so important right now, just not to close eyes, not to keep silence. That's the worst what can be. To turn your head, to put your mouth closed, eyes closed, and that's nothing going on. It should be stopped. And I'm happy and proud to be Ukrainian, and I'm happy that the world stands with Ukraine.
Absolutely. Taking you from less to a less serious subject, and your passion and your creative life, Olesya. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got started as an artist and through your childhood, how it developed?
Oh, it's a very funny story, actually, because I was born, and it's funny as well, because my father was a pilot, and it was Soviet Union times. He traveled all over the Soviet Union countries, and from the moment I was born, my parents stayed in Siberia, very deep in Siberia, and the town called Krasnoyarsk. But my grandma, both actually my grandmas, lived in Ukraine, and every single summer, my parents tried to send me there. And since I was 4, I started reading. So actually my creative life started with telling stories to my toys, telling and playing and inventing. And then when I was 5, my grandma was like a little bit tired about my stories. So she decided to teach me how to cross-stitch, to keep me busy. Because I read all books which they have in the library in the countryside we stayed. Yeah, and they saw me and they said, "But you read it already." I said, "Oh, you don't have anything new, so give me that." And she showed me very simple flower design. And of course, as any kid, you do something and it's not immediate result. And you're like, no, I don't want to this. No, I want, because I need to finish this. I want to see how it could be. And since I was 5, I was cross-stitching. So my school years, my first years in the university. So, and that was the start, actually. So, and since then, every single moment, I don't remember whether I just sit not doing anything. No, I always was like something doing with my hands. And after university, actually, where I met my husband and we got married, I started my career in marketing research sphere. So, and I didn't have enough time for cross-stitching or something like that. Although I tried, but for maybe I couldn't finish design during maybe 2 or 3 years. I was like, but I need to finish. So then we had a crisis. The whole world had that crisis with the currency exchange with it was 2008, I guess. So, and I found out that I was pregnant. surprise, surprise, crisis. I lost my job. I stayed in the house and okay, that's good. We will deal with that. So with a newborn, trust me, I tried, but no, you won't be able to do something with cross stitching. It's a luxury to find a moment even to wash your hair. So I tried decoupage, but decoupage was a little bit, dusty and a little bit too much around. And I was surfing in the internet, and I saw rag dolls. They were tilde dolls, and I just said, "Oh, you shiny gold!" I tried to find something, from books, right? But at that moment, in our market in Ukraine, we didn't have anything like that. So I asked my daughter godfather, who lives in States, to buy me several books and send me to Ukraine. So he sent me first tilde books, and I tried. I tried. No one will see it. The first, and hopefully I just threw it away somewhere. No, I was so ashamed because I understood that I need new materials. It's not a good way to do something with ordinary fabrics from fabric shops, where it's clothing. It's a different type of sewing style. So I was hunting where I can get those. So I understood that we didn't have at that moment, again, such type of fabrics, which I wanted. I always had a marketing mind. So, okay, if I had such problem, maybe I'm not alone. And I decided that if I order something from States or from Europe, I'd be able to open maybe a tiny shop where I can provide the same as me. People with passion, pure passion of doing something. So that was the start of my online Best Kids shop. So it was tiny, and everything I had was enough to keep in our apartment. But everything changed when I attended my first doll show. And I didn't have a booth. I was just a guest. And I was like, wow, I need to do something. So first was in spring and autumn. I had a booth. I had materials. I presented my dolls. And people started to ask me, do you teach? I was self-taught. So I was like, maybe I'm not good enough. I guess that all artists, all people have someone inside you who will usually be, no, you're not so good to start. So
imposter syndrome.
yeah. And sometimes I call it Gollum syndrome. So I said, okay, you can leave your contacts, and we can do something. So my first class was in our apartment, and it was so marvelous, and I made people so happy. And then I said, okay, so I need to think. I found an amazing space with a huge windows. There was so much light, and I did it everything by myself inside. So I covered the columns with fabrics. I cut them in squares, and they were covered because it was very easy for a person who is making something to come to a column and, holding a piece of or part of a doll or anything, part of a project, and putting it on the column with fabrics, not to dig in baskets or shelves. And that was the beginning of my studio, actually. So next years, I had classes every single day. Anyway, I was so lucky. I had amazing people as my students. I watched their kids growing. I know all their stories. So sometimes they came when kids were like about 5, 6, and right now they're in university, you know, and they still texting me like, yes, we're fine. We keep creating. We follow you everywhere we can. So that's the thing, you know, when you can share your inside world and you can make someone happy, you can share this bug of creation. That's a pure inspiration to continue what you're doing, to continue being who you are. So it was very hard for me to decide that I will focus only on my own business and leave everything behind. So that was a real challenge as well for me.
What prompted the move then, when things were going so well for you in Ukraine, to then make the move over to Canada and start a new life?
Because in 2014, the war began actually. So, and I made a lot of workshops for charity, and the crisis was quite hard. I truly understood that it's almost impossible. So I paid my stuff, and I sold my shop. I left on the studio because in studio I was able to raising plants and sending them and at least be among people. So then it wasn't in my region, you know, but even that time we were keeping together. So I couldn't stay aside. I don't know anyone in my studio who will tell me, I don't know, it's not my war or something. No. Everyone helped. Everyone tried to, you know, like breathing clothes, breathing food, breathing medicines. So, and then in 2017, my brother invited me to visit Canada, actually. And I was lucky because that year the Quilt Canada was in Toronto. So I came inside and I was shocked, you know, like with so many people with such deep passion about fabrics and threads, and they didn't need any explanation about what I'm doing. But I was doing something quite unique because no one saw before round bags in my style, for example, or such tiny houses and buttons or something, you know, like, yeah.
That is beautiful.
This is one of the Ukrainian village stuff I'm working right now on. So you see, again, it's a mixed technique. I will talk a bit later about that. That it's a stitching. You see, like different stitches here,
yeah,
and it's appliqué, and it's sewing, and it's cording here, and again, button. We all need buttons. I don't know why, but I don't know about anyone but me. I have so many buttons and I can't stop buying them because I know that I will use them. I don't know how, but I will. So yeah, I returned to Canada for workshops and the reviews were marvelous. So they started to invite me, but it's very hard to travel from Ukraine to Canada. Even for a week, it's a jet lag, it's a time difference, it's materials which you need to bring with you. Plus, at that moment, the magazine I worked with in Ukraine, all about crafts, they understood because of crisis, they started to first they shot the amount of magazines per year, then per decade even. So it was quite rough times actually. So and it was very tough to travel from, as I told you, it's visas, plane tickets, then hotels and other stuff. It didn't cover anything. So it's good to build a reputation, but then you need to decide where you're staying. And plus, I wanted to attend a quilt market. I want to be close to my main market in States, where people knew me. They wanted to connect with me, but the time difference killed everything. And back to 2017, we didn't have Zoom. We didn't have such big technologies of staying online and staying connected. Okay, so I do remember times with dial-up modems and ICQ messengers. You know, like yes,
in the dark ages, yes.
yeah. So, but right now, our kids will think about 2017. That is the dark age of now. They didn't have TikTok at that time.
Far from it.
Yeah, to stun our kids, we need to show them a cassette. Okay,
yes.
So and they will like, wow, what's this?
Prehistoric.
Why do you use it? Yeah, why do you use a pencil
to wind it on?
To turn it.
They've never lived, have they? If they've not had to do that themselves.
No. If they never struggled with dial-up modem when they almost downloaded that, and it's like, error.
Or somebody picks up the phone when you're trying to do something on the internet.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and that was the reason why I wanted to move. So we talked with my husband, and it wasn't a very easy decision. Actually, it wasn't, because like I live far from my brother, so and we are all by our own actually. So he has his family. He's really far. So and like we stay connected, but we live separate, and again it's like 3 hours between us. So we started to browsing like how I can be like not a tourist, you know, like because there are so many types of immigration process, and we had a very, very interesting program for myself, because Canadian government gave me a permanent because I'm a distinguished talent person. So they pick me up for this program, and I appreciate that, because that gives me opportunity to work and to pass an exam for citizenship very soon. So and then we moved. We came here, and it was like, wow. We had a lot of plans, and we moved in 2019, and I attended Quilt Market. I had a bath of the booth with one of my friends there, and there I met incredible again people. I repeat myself, but all people are incredible actually. So, and I signed contract for my books. I was introduced to Gold Peak Media. They have a lot of magazines like Quilt Maker, Quilt, Quick and Easy Quilts. So Mark Cole's quilting, they're very big in North America. So, and Quilt Mania, of course. So that was like, I was in the right environment, in the right place, the right time. We made so many plans. At that time, in 2019, I presented my year-long challenge, 365 days challenge, when during the whole year, I made one block per day. And I was lucky enough to finish my self-published book just as a presentation material for their quilt market. And I showed that this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing. And we booked our quilt show in April 2020. And January 2020, lockdown. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
All plans, all classes, actually everything was put on hold. Some of them were canceled immediately. Because also I was invited as a teacher and speaker for Quilt Canada, and everything was cancelled.
What a shame.
Yeah, and it was like, because when we came, we didn't seek for a job or something like that, because with what I've signed and with all plans we had, that would be enough for living. And not only for living, but for growing as well. But that was really challenging times. But again, I'm not the type of person who will just stop and say, I couldn't do that. No, I can cry for a moment. Then I'll be angry for a moment. And then I will back to normal for whole life being. So I finished my first book. The editors, the team itself, they taught me a lot. They helped me so much. Their supporting was so inspiring. So I made several presentations, and we signed contracts for several more books. So this was my self-published book, Pieces and Moments. We made it in Ukraine, actually. So it was a special types of pages with, you call it transfer paper.
Oh, yes.
Mostly, yeah, mostly you have such type of paper in scrapbooking, because you have all designs on it, so you can mix it. But I using transfer paper to work with fabrics, because it's one of the easiest way to put fabrics under such type of paper when you have printed design on it, and you see how it will play with the fabric.
Yeah, so you can work out the pattern placement and that kind of thing.
Yep. So this was my self-published. Then we put on air sewing scrap blocks with characters. So a huge amount of useful information and 66 or 67 designs. It's a book of blocks. I don't have any project in this book particular, but I tried to put as many designs as I could, because in the internet we have so many projects, so you can just take the design and mix it whatever you like. Our second book, which we were able to present last year, was Sewing Cozy Craft project with bears. It's probably, like I always say, I'm not a good knitter, or I'm not a good in. Actually, I'm not good in anything, right? Okay, at the level I would dream of, but I'm good in mixing. That's my superpower. So, and even here in the first book, how it works because I use not only stitches, I use drawing, 2 drops, and the character is alive. I don't know, 2 easy stitches. I will show you something. I have a new design.
Oh, yes, I've seen this on your Instagram, that lovely cat.
Yeah. Yeah, and now, you see, it's a mini quilt.
Yes, that's fabulous.
With paws. Yeah, with paws.
Paws and hearts.
Yes.
That is so cute.
And a dreaming cat.
Aww.
Yeah, and as we're talking about drawing, you see?
Oh, wow. That's so
and it's
cute.
easy. And it makes it easy because sometimes you're not able to make a correct shape. It's quite hard to make a correct shape of the eye. But you see, 2 drops.
Yeah. So
okay, 3 drops.
For people who obviously can't see this, it's a lovely a lovely quilt block made of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colours. But in the centre is a gorgeous little black cat peeping out with whiskers, paws on the sides of the blocks, and you've actually drawn on the eyes and the nose so that it really stands out. That's adorable.
Yeah. So you see, it's
the
upcoming
fox.
things.
Oh, yeah. Is that a raccoon? Oh, that's so adorable.
Yeah, so you know, like, and that's the reason why I want to mix, because when you don't have limits, when you open mind, and you have so many materials around, so why do you want to stay with limits? Try something new. So those 2 drops of paint was something new I brought, and that is my voice right now. So my voice is mixing. Then new level of that. Okay, so I started with the beads and stitches. Then I came with stitches and drawing. And next book is knitting, drawing, quilting, and something else, I guess. Yeah, and stuffed figures. So in this book, we decided to make it even more interesting, because here I have projects. Here I have postcards, storage bags, stuffed figures, even pin tips. So, and not cozies. So it's already how to use block design with 3D applique. And for winter, we stayed with knitting embellishments. So you will have hats, you will have mittens, you will have scarves, and everything is like something that you want to have. You see and you want. And there are projects for any level, actually. So at the same time, in sewing scrap logs, you will have several moments to pick up the design, and the technique is easy. It's ordinary piecing. Yes, it looks like classical paper piecing, but it's not. And this is the 3rd book I'm going to tell you about, because that book, the projects of that book, the characters of that book, they were bolting in my head for so long time. Do something with us. Okay, I agreed to do something with them, but I needed to understand how. So we were reading Alice in Wonderland with my daughter, and probably a lot of people know about Wonder Garden, yeah, where they have talking flowers, snowy roses, yes, and even in Disney cartoon, they have this scene with flowers. And we were passing a field with poppies and camellias. And I swear, I saw in the middle of the flower, like kind of a face, like because we were discussing Alice in Wonderland at that time. So I came home and said, okay, so everyone knows dandelion is a line, okay? So, okay, so what else can be? And poppies, for me, it's a tiny face of fox. So, of course, I made a fox.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a 3D fox with several, and in upcoming book, I promise there will be a book of projects, and every single character will be in different types. So we will have so many cases there, from glass cases with sunflowers as bears.
Oh,
yes,
that is so cute.
Yeah, we will have dog as a cardinal flower.
Oh,
you see,
as the seed head that you blow, and it's a fur. Oh,
yep.
That is adorable.
And even on this book, I brought something that I do remember from my childhood, and it's have you ever heard about cotton grass flowers?
No,
it's
tell
very
me.
It looks like a dandelion when it's white, but it doesn't blow around, so it stays with all those beautiful white things. And in Krasnoyarsk, my father once brought a bouquet for my mom with several cotton grass there. And I do remember that from my childhood because it stayed forever, because dandelion won't live long, okay? So I made a polar bear as a cotton grass.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I have a red cat as a daffodil.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, because they are so independent, okay? So, and all elements are 3D, so you can even...
Oh, gosh. So if you put wire into the petals so that they can move.
Flower. Yeah. Yeah, yes. You can move the petals on every single design. So it's a 3D applique with a base, with covering, with sewing, with with elements of quilting. So this book is really something very, very unusual.
I don't think I need to ask you where you've got your inspiration from, because clearly it's nature and the world around you for this.
Yeah, and books. And, it's really books, because those two books with bears and flowers, they started with Going Postal by Terry Pratchett and Alice in the Wonderland. Because, Pratchett's Flat World is something that I just love. I just love his language. I love his jokes. And it was a moment in the book when, yes, you can click your message, but you won't be able to seal it with a kiss. So I wanted to seal something for someone special with threads, fabrics, and inspiration. So that was motto for those books. And music, and yes, you're truly right. The nature around us, everything we see every day, even if we don't pay attention, it's still there. It's around us. We live in the magical world. Yes, we have incredible level of technologies. We have incredible passion of traveling to space, to discover, but still we have not to forget that right now the sun is shining, it's snowing, birds are flying, I don't know, the wind, the whisper of tree, how stars are twinkle, I don't know, everything. If you just close your eyes for a second and switch off everything and listen to silence, you will hear your voice, your true passion, and that will lead you. So we're so under stress. We started to forget about who we are actually. We are very creative. Every single person in the world. That's my religion. I do believe that we are all talented, but sometimes we just don't listen to ourselves. That's the reason that I want to share more. I want to do more. I want to show more. Everything could be magic. Everything. And you don't need any special materials or special sewing machine or I don't know. It's good to have, but still, you have your eyes, you have your arms, you have your decision to do something. And one more thing, when you do something by yourself, handmade, homemade, okay, from cookies and bread to, I don't know, a wedding dress, okay, that will show the person that you really care, that you spend not only money, it's very important to you, but you spend your lifetime to do this with thoughts about this person, because he means something to you. So that's why every single project you're doing it for yourself and for the person who's around you. So that's what keeps me going, actually.
I think that's something that keeps so many of us going, really, the importance of being able to create and pass that love of creating onto other people. It's pure gold, isn't it?
Absolutely. And always it will be something unique. And it's so important nowadays when the world is running and the speed of world is incredible high. When you have time to do something, that gives a person a bell ring that you're not alone. There is someone really cares about you. And it doesn't matter what you do, actually. It doesn't matter how it will look at the beginning or at the end. That means the care we share.
Absolutely. Oh, Olesya, I think that's a perfect place to wrap up this interview. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time and for speaking so openly about the difficulties that you know you and your family and your friends are going through at home. And I just send my love to you and all your loved ones as well, and hope they keep safe.
Lindsay, thank you so much. For me, it was a great honor and pleasure to get together and meet you. and talk with you. It's a pure pleasure for me.
My deepest thanks to Olesya for speaking to me for Making Stitches. I really enjoyed getting to know her over the past few weeks. I've included links to Olesya's website, social media and Etsy shop in the show notes for this episode, along with a link to a web page about the traditional Ukrainian embroidery Olesya showed me at the start of the interview. You will also be able to see some examples of Olesya's work which she showed me during our chat. Now, like so many other people over the past weeks, I was feeling helpless about how to help the people of Ukraine at this dreadful time. So I did something I can do, and that was to design a new amigurumi friend to join the Up the Garden Path range in the Making Stitches shop. She's based on a sunflower, the national flower of Ukraine, and is called Sophia after St. Sophia's Cathedral in Kiev. All profits from the sale of the Sophia the Sunflower PDF pattern will be donated to the UNHCR aid effort to support Ukrainian refugees. You can find details for that in the episode show notes too. That's all for this first episode in the new series of Making Stitches. I'll be back again in 2 weeks' time with another inspiring maker story for you, with Hannah Cross this time of Hanjan Crochet. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, take care and enjoy your crafting.